It's great to be back at MTM and around working with so many of you who I consider my friends. I think these are exciting times. I've seen, just in the past few weeks, I've seen so many folks here that I've never met before, and I've seen some folks that were here when I first started a couple of years ago and then disappeared, probably because I was here, and, and have now come back. So it's really great. There's a lot of really good things happening here, and I want you to know that. The organization is in good, solid shape. We have good leadership, a strong board. We have good relationships with some of the foundations in town, and we're building relationships with federal agencies as we look for some of those big grants that are out there related to COVID and to the infrastructure bill. So hopefully we will get, as Dave mentioned, we have a grant pending right now. We're hoping that we'll get to replace this whole roof and the windows and masonry. Before that happens, I told Dave he has till the end of next week to get the power plant back in shape. We'll see about that. The success of MTM really depends on all of you. And I know so many of you put in just countless hours around this place. And I looked over at Deb here, who's taken on the job of treasurer, and who keeps telling me she's so glad she retired, otherwise she wouldn't have time to do it. But you all put in so many hours here, and that's what makes this organization work. But we need more help. We need more volunteers. We are a volunteer-run organization, and we need people. Kurt has a list over here, but we need someone to coordinate and recruit more volunteers, and to get schools interested and engaged, and to help us reach out to child care centers and have them come in here on Wednesdays for tots and trains. We need more docents here at the museum. We need folks to work the trains up in Osceola, and we need folks to take our training classes so they can become brakemen and engineers and so forth to help us into the future. So it all depends on you. I'd like to invite each one of you to invite your neighbors and your friends and families to come here and become part of MTM. We should operate as a big, happy family where we come here, we have a good time with people we enjoy being around, and we share in the workload of making this place successful. And it's my hope that we also, that this museum, that this facility can really become not just something that's a playground for its members, but that it's actually a real asset to this community and becomes recognized as a vital cultural piece of the framework of St. Paul. So we need your help to do that. So please come volunteer more and invite your friends and your families to do the same. Now, as I said in my email, those of you who got it last night, we have a bit of a special announcement tonight that does impact the future of MTM. We need to identify ways to increase our earned revenues in ways other than just Osceola. We need to make this roundhouse, this museum, a more vital place, to have more people come in here, and we need to find other ways as well to raise revenues. Because in doing that, that's going to help us keep our equipment running, it's going to help us maintain this building, to do ongoing preventative maintenance so that we never again get in a situation where we have to replace the whole roof, but so that we can do it on an ongoing basis. And I know there's a lot of commitment here to do that. But tonight, we have something very special I wanted you to announce. Let me open this up. Many of you know Art and Judy Pugh and all the time they spent here. This place was absolutely loved by Art Pugh. We wouldn't be here in this building today if it hadn't been for Art and the investment of time and money that he put into this place to make it available for the museum. We want to honor the Pugh family for what they have done for this organization and for what they continue to do. In addition to Art's love for this place, Art also had a tremendous love for this thing, the Gritty Palace. This was Art's private rail car. Art loved it. It was a venue for him to take his family on outings, and members of his family speak so fondly of the time they had with their friends and family riding the Gritty Palace around the country. Right now, the Gritty Palace is sitting down in North Carolina. It's been for sale for some time, but as of tonight, I would like to announce that it is no longer for sale. The Gritty Palace is coming home to Minnesota, and it is going to become the signature piece of equipment of the Minnesota Transportation Museum. I want to say thanks to Art's family and to the estate manager of Art's estate for making this very generous donation to the museum. Some of the Gritty details: this was built by Pullman back in 1902. It served on the Rock Island Railroad for most of its life. It was the president's business car, so several presidents of the Rock Island Railroad used the Gritty Palace, and it wasn't called the Gritty Palace back then, but it was their business car. Art purchased it back in 1968. We are getting it. It is in perfect condition. Can you believe MTM would get a piece of equipment that does not need restoration? This thing is perfect, like it just came out of Pullman's shop. And it is fully Amtrak compatible. We hope to use it to perhaps up in Osceola, perhaps for special events at Union Depot. Perhaps we can rent it out. Where's Steve Sandberg? Going to competition with Steve. And Steve wants to help us get it rented out for private excursions. It will become a way to earn additional revenues for this organization. We're also looking at the possibility of maybe running regular excursions with the Gritty Palace and maybe one of the other Rock Island cars at another location closer to the Twin Cities than Osceola. And of course, we certainly hope that the Pugh family will always feel more than welcome to come over here to the museum or wherever the Gritty Palace might be sitting at any given point in time, and to continue with their family outings. So I want to say thank you to the Pugh family for this wonderful, wonderful exhibit that we hope will be here for future generations of the Pugh family. Look at that. Look at that mahogany in there. Isn't that just, it's so beautiful. It's just incredible. So thank you all. At this point, I would like, before you clap for me, I would like to invite Mari Pugh to come up and say a few words. Mari, we'd like to say thank you to you and your family.
You guys don't need to clap for us. I need to clap for you guys, because what Scott said to me the other day, which I normally feel emotional, but I don't feel emotional right now, but he said Gritty needs to come home. And Dad loved and adored this place, and he loved and adored his Gritty. And that's, as kids, that's how we didn't get in a car. We hopped on Gritty. And in those days, we were able to go all the way from the back end, sitting on our milk crates, with our special glasses on, and wave to the world. And we could run all the way, and I don't know the termage, all the way forward. Probably not to the engineer, but in those days we could go through all the cars. And we were only allowed to play board games, and we had puppets that we would put in the windows when we'd go to do stops in certain cities and out in the middle of nowhere. And just, you guys will love it. And I hope that I and my siblings hope that this can, yes, bring additional revenue. People love it. I brought some extra pictures tonight. There's an article when Dad bought Gritty Palace. There was a Chicago Tribune article. I've got old black and whites from there. I've got actually tons of stuff. So when I was cleaning out Mom and Dad's house 4 months ago, I wish I knew that this was happening, because I saved what I could. But anyways, I hope you learn to love it. It brings smiles to people, and it's done, and you just get to enjoy it. And I hope everybody gets an opportunity to ride it. And that was my dad's dream. His baby is coming home. So thank you to you guys. Thank you.
So, again, in my email of last night, I said, the future of MTM, revenues aren't just it, it's part of it. Imagine though, for years you folks have planned on Baby becoming a steam bay. So, in addition to the Gritty Palace, sitting across town over at Steve Sandberg's shop is the Great Northern A18. So the Gritty was owned by Art and used by the former presidents of the Rock Island. The president of the Great Northern, James J. Hill, used the A18. So out here in Bay B, as long as we can get all of you guys to help us out, including in helping to raise money, Bay B is going to become a STEAM exhibit. It will have the Gritty Palace, it will have the A18, it will have the 328 over here. We hope all of them, including that thing, become operable and be able to use them from time to time and showcase what we're all about. But we're going to need all of your help to make that happen. So I'm counting on you. I'm grateful for your help, and I'm just grateful to be back with you. So thanks so much.